upcoming games have us setting countdown timers, canceling plans, mentally prepping our excuses to call in sick. Games we hope live up to the hype. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on GameRanks, 10 of the most anticipated AAA games we can't wait to play. At number 10, it's Resident Evil Requiem, basically Resident Evil 9. Basically set 30 years after the city was nuked to shut down the zombie outbreak from Umbrella Corporation. We're returning to a Raccoon City as an FBI analyst who decided, hey, investigating a haunted hotel where my mom died, that sounds like a solid weekend plan.
Grace, keep moving.
Obviously, there would not be a game if it was a solid weekend plan, so we know that it's not a solid weekend plan. A solid weekend plan for you is catching up on old GameRanks videos you haven't watched, because statistically you're probably not subscribed. So first, hit the subscribe button, and second, check up on what you missed. We've put out some pretty good stuff lately. We're pretty proud of it. So Resident Evil Requiem. This one's not actually that far off. We're going to see the release of Resident Evil Requiem next year in February on the 27th. It's coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC, and I cannot wait to play it. At number 9, it's Grand Theft Auto 6. Let's cut to the chase. This is not just a game. This is the game. We're talking multi-billion-dollar budget and enough hype to have everybody trembling. Nobody's going to want to release the same day as Grand Theft Auto 6. We're headed back to Vice City, but this is a little bit different. It's not the 80s. It's present times, set in Leonida, which is basically a pretend Florida in the Grand Theft Auto universe. It looks like we've got dual protagonists, probably swappable in the same way the GTA 5 ones were, but also it seems like they're going to be together a lot of the time because they are together. It's a Bonnie and Clyde thing. There's been a lot made about that, but what matters to me more is just the gaming cultural juggernaut in the, I guess, near-term future, but it's a ways off. It's not a massive ways off. Rockstar told us it's coming May 26, 2026, and it's going to hit midnight local time worldwide. So whatever your midnight is, that's when it's launching for you. Unless you set the time and date and maybe use a VPN. It is going to be landing on PS5 and Xbox Series. No last generation stuff, and we don't see Switch as what I would say a definite. Even though the Switch 2 is infinitely more powerful than the original Switch, it's still at a much lower level than the other consoles. We don't have PC information. Leaks indicate it may not arrive until late in the year, 2026, maybe even 2027 or 2028, depending on probably a lot of different factors. But yeah, it's GTA 6, and it's finally going to come out. And number 8, it is Crimson Desert. You thought the hype train had completely derailed after GTA 6? Think again. Basically, this looks to me like they're trying to combine Dragon's Dogma and The Witcher 3. It's Pearl Abyss's Black Desert Online follow-up. Was originally going to be an add-on or something. I can't remember the story at the moment, but it's become this big, old, crazy-looking open-world project that actually is really impressive because it looks ambitious and it looks like they've actually delivered on it. Takes place in the continent of Pwyll, if I'm saying that right, Pywel. So the king is in a coma, so things are not great, and you're the leader of a mercenary gang called the Greymanes. There's horseback duels, combo-heavy combat, grappling hooks, climbing, crafting, managing pet dogs. It's a really cool-looking game, and it's coming not this year. It was going to be this year, but they delayed it to Q1 2026 to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. I'm really looking forward to this one. At number 7, appropriately so, is 007 First Light, the IO developed, not Hitman game. So this is going to be an origin story for Bond. He's 26. He's just about to earn his 00 license. And it's not a Bond we've seen before. Originally, this was going to be Hitman with Daniel Craig's face. But Aya went full-blown world building and made their own Bond. Probably their own Bond world, because I have to imagine this is something they want to do sequels. I don't know if you caught all the gameplay that they released back on September 3rd State of Play. If you haven't, I would highly recommend checking it out. You could definitely see the Hitman influence, but there's way more going on here. You're not restricted to stealth or just brawling. You can even bluff. You can sweet talk your way through situations. It's definitely got more possibilities than the basically mute Agent 47. This one looks fantastic. Like, everything I have seen about it makes me want to play it, and that's great. First Light is going to come to PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC March 27th, 2026.
What? Ken Banks, penetration tester. I need to have a stern word with your manager.
Good to have you on the team.
And number 6 is Gears of War E-Day, set 13, possibly more years before the original game. But this is the origin story. This is Emergence Day, the day the Locust Horde appears. So you got Marcus, you got Dom, youthful, vulnerable, inexperienced, and not wearing chainsaws. Literally wearing chainsaws. So the Coalition and People Can Fly are co-developing this. This is not an open world game like Gears 5. They are doing a linear story, and they are very clearly trying to harken back to the original game. The trailer literally has Mad World in it. We don't have an exact day, but we know that it's coming in 2026 to align with Gears' 20th anniversary, and it's coming to Xbox Series and PC. No PlayStation and no Switch, but the word yet comes to mind, because it will be there. And number 5 is the Fable reboot, the first mainline Fable game since 2012. It's being developed by Playground Games, who we know from Forza Horizon, and it is running on the ultra-polished Forza Tech engine. Now, in many ways, this is a bizarre choice, but it also seems like, this is a team that doesn't release stuff that doesn't work. Honestly, what I'm going to say is this is probably going to be a game that feels like old Fable with modern controls and looks like something you've never seen before. That seems to be what they're going for, and I would guess they'll accomplish it because it's not like Fable is some impossible game by today's standards. And to be frank, the level of interactivity that they achieved in Fable, although not quite up to what it promised by Peter Molyneux when it was originally unveiled, is actually a lot more interactivity than a lot of the stuff that we see today, because let's be frank, a lot of games have achieved much higher fidelity, but at the sacrifice of interactivity. So I have a feeling that's what this is about, and I also obviously have my fingers crossed. This one is coming out possibly next year, but there are rumors that it is going to be delayed to 2027, not due to problems, but because this is a very large project. So hopefully next year, but either way, it's going to land on Xbox Series and PC. And number 4 is The Elder Scrolls 6. We don't have a lot on this one. As of mid-2025, we know it has exited pre-production and entered active development on the Creation Engine 2, which, longtime GameRanks viewers would know my opinion on that. People have been piecing together rumors, because that's really all we have. The front runner for where this one is going to take place is Hammerfell. There's apparently going to be a Skyrim Grandma cameo, which is really cool. I would like to give you a lot more information than that, but it would just be speculation at this point. And honestly, I don't know what I could speculate on in terms of Bethesda game that doesn't seem either really obvious or impossible to guess. In all likelihood, we know it's confirmed for Xbox Series and PC. We do not know for when. I'm guessing it's also probably going to be a Starfield style launch where they were exclusive on the Xbox platform for a while, and we'll probably see it on PS5 after. When? No idea. Probably 2027, 2028. And number 3 is Marvel's Blade, being developed by Arcane Studios. Here's the thing with Arcane. They're fantastic. They know what they're doing. They gave us Dishonored and Deathloop, and I mean, Arcane Austin is who gave us Prey specifically, but obviously they were following the template that Arcane Leon, the one that's still around, created. And to be frank, I don't really want to get into how disappointed I am that Arcane Austin doesn't exist anymore. So I'm just going to talk about how cool this game could potentially be in Arcane's hands. So you don't have Blink, you don't have the Outsider to give you any other powers, no runes, etc., but you're a vampire, and you're like the coolest vampire that's ever existed. So I think we're going to see a lot of very interesting stuff in terms of story, because these guys are great storytellers. I think they don't get enough credit for that. Dishonored gets a lot of praise for its mechanics, but I like the story a whole lot in both of them. It's not revolutionary or anything. I've said this in many other videos. There's 7 types of stories that exist, and it's one of them. It's how, and man, do they do how good. I'm super excited for the Blade game. I love the idea that it's basically going to be probably an immersive sim Marvel game. Marvel has a lot of great IP, but I think a lot of the time what it actually is, which is narrative storytelling, isn't really taken into very much account with the video games. But that's literally what these things are. Like comic books, which have existed for many, many decades, it's narrative storytelling. So I think Arcane is probably a better fit for a Marvel game than a lot of other ones. And a lot of the reason that the Spider-Man games, for instance, are great is that they treat that element of the story with respect and put the amount of effort into it that makes sense to do if you're actually thinking about what these things are. Marvel's Blade is coming to PC and Xbox Series, but we do not know when because it entered full production at the end of 2024, so we're not even a year in. And number 2 is Insomniac's Wolverine. I actually refrained from mentioning this in the previous point because, like I said, Insomniac's Spider-Man games worked, I think, partly because they respect what comic book stories actually are, which is stories, and they're making a Wolverine game. Now, because we don't really have any information on this game, all we have to go on is the fact that Insomniac made the Spider-Man games and said this one is going to be more quote-unquote mature. What we have to think about is how well Insomniac utilized the Spider-Man character, which is very well. Mechanically speaking, the web slinging is incredibly enjoyable in the 2 Insomniac Spider-Man games, so they care about making the power of the hero work. Now, I hope that means they are taking notes on that old X-Men Origins Wolverine game, because that game took the Wolverine mechanic very seriously, and if they know what's good for them, they'll use that as a template, because although there's a lot of things about that game that aren't really that great, the gameplay itself is. That's, of course, not really anything official about the game. It's speculation. But I would also say I would bet it's not absurd speculation. That is a very well-revered game, and it provides a decent template. Obviously, a lot more is possible now than was then. So there's a lot that could be done. We don't have a date, but we know it's not going to happen until at very least March 2026. I wouldn't be shocked if it's quite a bit later. But whenever it does come out, it is coming as a PlayStation 5 exclusive, though I would imagine that like the Spider-Man games, it will come to PC later. And finally, at number 1, it is Witcher 4. It has been a long time since The Witcher 3. And to me, the game still holds up. I absolutely love The Witcher 3. There's graphically some definite old stuff there. It's showing his age, but in every other way, that is a game that was way ahead of its time. It feels very cinematic even now. And this is kicking off a Ciri trilogy. Honestly, I'm pretty happy about that. I love the character of Ciri. I know that it's caused some controversy, but I mean, can we play the game before we start with that kind of crap? Ciri is a great character. Geralt's not gone, but what is gone is the CDPR tech. They've moved over to Unreal Engine 5, and honestly, I think that was the right move because remember Cyberpunk's launch? These are talented developers that really know what they're doing. Let's just use the really high-quality engine that everybody knows how to use, and it's easy to get support for. They're doing what they need to be doing in terms of what everything looks like. They have an absolutely beautiful 60 frames per second tech demo running on a standard PS5 with nanite foliage, crowd simulations, and just crazy environmental detail. Absolutely beautiful. Apparently, the best case scenario for launch, though, is 2027 or possibly even later. Witcher 4 is confirmed for PS5, PC, and Xbox Series, though, and there's a reason we put this at number 1. It's gonna be a hell of a game. I do have a quick bonus game for you, and it's Battlefield 6, which, as you know, we've lamented that series a lot, and apparently this is going to be a return to form with destructible stuff in particular. It seems like they've taken some influence from the finals in terms of destruction. They're talking about doing macro and micro destruction, which can, and this is a quote from them, redefine play spaces mid-match. I like that a lot because I like me the finals a lot. Anybody who watches knows how much I like the finals. Did I bring up Battlefield 6 because I wanted to say I hope it's like the finals? I don't know. It's a massive upcoming AAA game that I do want to play a lot, though. This is one we don't have to wait as long for. It's coming October 10th to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week.